So the Blue Jays, they play Game 1 this Sunday.
Yeah, and back here in Buffalo, of course, the Blue Jays, the farm team, the Bisons, they're buzzing, and many former players are headed to the ALCS, and we're talking about all the excitement with Pat Malacaro, the voice of the Buffalo Bisons. All right, Pat, very exciting time for, I'm sure, you, for the front office, of course, for the entire organization, really.
Absolutely. In the last round, 16 of the 26 players on the Blue Jays roster for the divisional series against the Yankees played at some point in Buffalo this year. Whether it's Shane Bieber, who was acquired at the trade deadline, pitched 3 times in Buffalo and went to the big leagues, or Trey Savage, who started Game 2 and was not in Buffalo until the end of August to beginning of September, and everything in between. So there were so many players that came through Buffalo this year, and even players like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the past that maybe played in Buffalo previously on his way up. So it's a lot of exciting times for us.
Super exciting for sure. So if you went to a bunch of games this year and the Blue Jays go on to win a World Series, you saw some World Series winning players, which is super exciting for your organization.
It is, and our affiliation has been over 10 years now with Toronto, and this is now the third time that they're in the League Championship Series since our affiliation began in 2013. And you go back to those years 10 and 9 years ago and how many Bisons were on those teams. And it goes to show you that even though the wins and losses might not have been there this year for the Bisons, the team had a successful year because they've produced so many players that have contributed.
Absolutely.
And as the play-by-play man, you know, how thrilling has that been for you personally to call the games day in, day out, over the summer, and see the team progress the way it has been?
Oh, it's been so much fun. And a guy like Nathan Lucas, I think, is a great example. He was in Buffalo for a couple of years, even was on a rehab assignment with the team this year. He's a great story. 31 years old, never really got a lot of big league time, and has 10 RBIs in the divisional round. Ernie Clement, he's from Rochester, came to Buffalo in 2023 and has been in the big leagues pretty much ever since. So stories like that, you get to know the guys and their story off the field as well. And when you see them contribute in the big leagues, and especially in this stage, it's so important and fun.
Yeah. Blue Jays, the closest team in Buffalo in the MLB. The Yankees, the New York team. So, but I do feel like, and the Mets. I know, sorry. I come from a Yankees household, so, and the Mets. So, where was I going with that? Toronto, when they played here during the COVID years, I do feel like a lot of people really jumped on board at that time. What did you see there, Pat?
Yeah, I think you're right. And especially in 2021 when fans were able to go, you know, you may have seen the Blue Jays take on the Marlins or the Blue Jays take on the Texas Rangers, and you became a Blue Jays fan for that weekend. Yeah. And with all those players coming to Buffalo eventually and coming through, I think you built up that relationship with the organization that, yes, it might not be the team you grew up rooting for, but it's a team you can root for now, and especially with how long the affiliation has been, definitely is something we've seen.
And keep in mind that Toronto, of course, during COVID, had to play here, and a lot of investment was made at Salem Field, right? So, you know, talk a little bit more about the operation as well, right? So it seems like the Blue Jays, not only just the Blue Jays, but also the Bisons, that they are sort of married together really well, and it seems like they're really a well-oiled machine.
Absolutely, and during that year in 2020 and 21, there was a partnership between the Bisons and the Blue Jays to upgrade the facilities. The Blue Jays wanted to make sure that when their players were in Buffalo, the facilities they had in Florida were the same as they had in Buffalo, because that's what they have in Toronto. And the players in Buffalo have seen the benefits of that now in 5-6 years, that the hitting lab, it's not a batting cage anymore, it's a hitting lab or a pitching lab. All these things that are part of the scene in Florida and in Toronto, they're in Buffalo, so that when they go to Toronto, they're prepared for it, they're ready for it. It's not a new experience to them. And I think that's something that behind the scenes players really enjoy.
And we'll see who Toronto ends up playing. We got Detroit and Seattle tonight, so we'll see what happens, right?
All right, Pat, thank you so much. I think a lot of people still have, I know I do, and I will rock, despite my husband being that Yankees fan, my Buffalo Blue Jays shirt, which I just love. So I think a lot of people here in Western New York really rooting these guys on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All
Thanks,
right,
Pat.
Pat, thank you.